fun begins.
The year is 2025, and Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith has turned 20 years old. Now, Revenge of the Sith is the Star Wars prequel that I would say has a special place in my heart, because my relationship with this film is complicated in a way. First of all, let me preface, I am not a huge Star Wars fan. Like, I get the love and adoration for Star Wars to a point. I understand the history and importance of Star Wars when it comes to sci-fi, when it comes to cinema. And yes, I said sci-fi when in actuality Star Wars is science fantasy. But when you look at it as a franchise, as a whole, I don't think Star Wars is actually that great. Now, bear in mind, I didn't grow up with Star Wars properly. I was more of a Harry Potter kid. I was more of a Doctor Who kid. I didn't get into Star Wars until I was in my teenage years, before The Force Awakens came out. And linking this all back to Revenge of the Sith, Revenge of the Sith was the first Star Wars film I actually watched. Because I was told it's the best prequel, it's the one that you should probably start off with first. Also, I think it just happened to be on TV and a friend recommended it to me like a couple of days earlier, and I was like, sure, I'll watch Revenge of the Sith. And when I first watched Revenge of the Sith, I thought it was terrible.
Liar!
I thought it sucked. I was like, this movie is so bad, the CGI is awful, the acting is terrible, the writing sucks. And as the years have gone by, I both agree and disagree with what I've said in the past, because Revenge of the Sith overall is entertaining, it is a fun watch, and in many ways, it is the Star Wars prequel that needed to be made. You don't need Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones. You just need Revenge of the Sith because in many ways, this feels like the story George Lucas wanted to tell. Anakin Skywalker, the Jedi Knight, falling to the dark side, being seduced by Darth Sidious and such, becoming Darth Vader. You could tell that this was the story and the film he wanted to make. And I kind of stand by this, but I don't think you need any of the other prequels. I mean, I haven't watched the Clone Wars and such, but when it comes to just the films, the only prequel film you need is Revenge of the Sith. Because in this movie, you get the fall of Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker falling to the dark side, being corrupted by Darth Sidious and such. You see the friendship and brotherly bond between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin. And aside from continuity errors like the Death Star just being built at the end of this film, but then it takes them like years later when it comes to Rogue One and A New Hope to actually construct and have the Death Star be fully operational, those details don't make sense. But overall, Revenge of the Sith is really the only prequel that you need. But before we get into the rest of the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on social media. It's all linked down in the description. I'm also an actor and filmmaker myself, so check out my latest short film, The Shining Optimism of V.F. Minar. And yes, without further ado, let's get into my thoughts on Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And look, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. There are some bad line deliveries. There is some poor CGI. There is also just some bad overall acting moments. But for the most part, yeah, I really enjoy Revenge of the Sith. I do think certain sections of the Star Wars fan base have kind of like glazed the prequels a little bit and they're kind of like over-glorified them, making them seem better than they actually are. But also too, another bit of charm with this film is the meme culture.
Hello there.
There are so many memes, there are so many quotable moments that have been ingrained in pop culture, or at least in meme culture, that when I was sitting in the cinema watching my screening of the 20th anniversary edition of Revenge of the Sith, it was quite fun to see it on screen. That being said, though, there were one or two moments where I was like, okay, yeah, this is kind of taking me out a little bit. Like, when Obi-Wan is, like, standing like this on Mustafar, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a meme, and the audience is laughing, and it's kind of taking me out of the scene. But for the most part, the Revenge of the Sith is good fun. And getting to the cast, Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker, I've always liked.
My powers have doubled since the last time we met, Count.
Granted, the first time I saw this film, I was like, oh, he's a bad actor, he cannot act. But in actuality, after watching this film multiple times, I'm like, no, he has like one or two bad line deliveries, but that's also too because George Lucas isn't an actor's director.
I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire.
But for the most part, Hayden Christensen is really good as Anakin Skywalker. I also think Anakin Skywalker is really cool in this film. His overall look, the long hair, the dark Jedi robes, amazing. Hayden Christensen's facial acting and physicality, incredible. Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi,
hello there.
Standout, absolutely entertaining to watch, and he's an overall fantastic fit to play Obi-Wan Kenobi. He has like one or two moments where he like laughs at the youngling's line, and he kind of just like covers his mouth by like stroking his beard and such. When he does that, okay, yeah, it kind of takes me out of the scene a little bit. But then again too, part of me only knows that because it's a known fact that he's covering a laugh. If I didn't know that information, would that be distracting? Natalie Portman is fine. I mean, yes, she has some bad line deliveries.
You're so beautiful.
It's only because I'm so in love.
It's only because I'm so in love. No. No, it's because I'm so in love with you. So love has blinded you? Okay, that scene isn't helped by the writing, but at the same time too, yeah, it's not great. Ian McDiarmid as Chancellor Palpatine again, really great in this film. I mean, yes, over the top hammy moments like no, unlimited power. Like, yeah, some of that stuff takes me out of the drama of the film story. But yeah, overall, Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor, pretty great fun. It's treason then. Revenge of the Sith also has some of my favorite moments in the entire Star Wars franchise. I mean, Obi-Wan versus Anakin on Mustafar is incredible. It is one of the best lightsaber, one of the best like sword combat sequences in film. It is incredible. Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor just worked their asses off of that sequence, and it pays off. It's so good. I mean, that sequence has so many cool phrases and exchanges, like the bit where they go down the corridor and they like grab each other's arm and then like clash. Amazing. Fucking incredible. The bit where they clash and the lava like explodes behind them, amazing. Yes, that fight does go on for way too long, but at the same time too, it is so entertaining and so iconic. I love it. Not to mention the way it starts too, like that little exchange between Obi-Wan and Anakin has been memed to death, but at the same time too, it's so quotable, like, I know it off the top of my head. You turned her against me. You have done that yourself. You will not take her from me. Your anger and your lust for power have already done that. You have allowed this Dark Lord to twist your mind until now. Until now you've become the very thing that you swore to destroy. Don't lecture me, Obi-Wan. I see through the lies of the Jedi. I do not fear the dark side as you do. I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire. Your new empire? Don't make me kill you. Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy. If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must. You will try. Yeah, this movie is iconic. I'm not gonna deny that. Also, I think as the years have gone by, I've just been a bit disillusioned by Star Wars. Like, I don't really care for it that much anymore. Part of it is to do with the sequel trilogy. Part of it is to do with Disney milking the brand. Part of it also is to do with my newfound love for Dune. Having read Dune, I realized, oh, George Lucas borrowed. He kind of like ripped off or like took a lot of ideas from Dune, and it's like, okay, Star Wars is just Dune for babies, but also it's not really about a ton. Like, yes, there's the whole good and evil, Republic versus Empire and such, but like in comparison to Dune, with its heavy philosophical ideas and storytelling and its commentary on dictatorships and such, Star Wars just feels like Diet Dune for babies. And obviously, aside from the fight on Mustafar, there are also amazing scenes like the Jedi Temple scene, even the opening rescue of Chancellor Palpatine. Like, whilst I do think some of the dialogue exchanges are a bit clunky, still pretty good fun. Like, this one out of the prequel trilogy actually feels fun and swashbuckling and engaging. If they didn't reference The Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones, I think Revenge of the Sith would actually have been a pretty good standalone prequel film. I mean, like, yes, there are some dumb things like Padme dying of a broken heart and such, but, you know, overall, to tell the story of Anakin Skywalker and his falling out with the Jedi and his betrayal of the Jedi, pretty good. I mean, sure, yeah, there's some silly things like Darth Vader going, yeah. I'm not denying that, but as an overall film, as an overall story, as an overall experience, it's really good fun. It is one of my favorite Star Wars films. Part of it is to do with nostalgia, part of it is to do with the concept of the story rather than the execution of the story. Like, when you break the prequels down on paper, they actually sound incredible, but then when you actually watch them in motion, it's like, oh no, this ain't it. But yeah, I'm not denying that Revenge of the Sith doesn't have great moments. But overall, yeah, it's not like a brilliant film, but I really enjoy it. Also, I saw this film in 4DX, and I've got to say, maybe just because right now I'm not feeling particularly great, but that was one of the most violent 4DX experiences I've ever had. Like, oh my god. Like, I saw Dune Part 2 in 4DX. That one ride was so much fun. It felt like a roller coaster. The overall movement, the 4DX movement for Revenge of the Sith, oh my god, that was horrible. It was violent. It was like every action scene, it was like, and I was like, oh, I don't feel good at all. This is not where the fun begins. Also, speaking of Dune, when you actually look at the plot for Revenge of the Sith, a lot of it is taken from Dune Messiah. It's like, wow, George Lucas, you really had to think on this one, didn't you? Like the dream of Padme dying in childbirth, that is just straight up from Dune Messiah. Like both The Matrix Reloaded and Revenge of the Sith just rip off Dune Messiah. But those are my thoughts on Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. But what do you think about the Star Wars prequel film? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on social media. It's all linked down in the description. And until we meet again, I'll see you guys next time.